WEAR News at 10 starts now.
This is a tragic day for Florida State University. We're absolutely heartbroken by the violence that occurred on our campus earlier today.
2 people are dead and 7 other people, including the suspect, are injured after a mass shooting at Florida State University. The Leon County Sheriff says the suspect, 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner, was shot by deputies and is in custody at a hospital. Eichner is an FSU student and the son of a Leon County Sheriff's deputy. Tonight, the FSU community is now dealing with the aftermath of a violent act that spurred chaos across the college campus in Tallahassee. ABC's Rena Roy reports.
Panic and chaos at Florida State University's Tallahassee campus.
We were all just scared to death.
Students with their hands in the air and armed officers clearing classrooms one by one after police say a gunman opened fire just before noon at the busy Student Union building.
Listen up real quick. We are trying to get all of you out of here in a timely manner. It is going to be a minute because there's a lot of you.
A music professor posting this image of the piano she used to barricade the door to her classroom.
It didn't feel real the entire time, and then it felt very real when I looked and saw an officer with an assault rifle, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is happening.
You can see the wounded alleged shooter being shackled inside an ambulance. Authorities say he's a student and the son of a Leon County Sheriff's deputy.
The shooter is 20-year-old Phoenix Eichner. Deputy Eichner has been with the Leon County Sheriff's Office for over 18 years. Unfortunately, her son had access to one of her weapons, and that was one of the weapons that was found at the scene.
Multiple law enforcement sources confirming this social media photo of Eichner. Meanwhile, the injured rushed to area hospitals.
The law enforcement took that person out on a stretcher and laid them in the street until EMS showed up. There was one person across the way that seemed to get escorted in an office chair with wheels, and they got wheeled down to the street. Classes canceled through Friday and athletic events also called off through the weekend. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Tonight, students returned to the campus to lay down flowers for the victims in the mass shooting. Our team was there and spoke with some of the students after the chaos they experienced on campus. WEAR's Brent Carney has this report from Tallahassee.
Students and faculty are still in shock as they heard the news of what happened here on campus today. Many students and faculty came here to the center of campus here on Florida State to pay their respects. Florida State University students mourning the tragedy that took place on campus. Students and faculty laying flowers and paying their respects. Some students here still shaken by what they saw and what they heard. Juan Gutierrez witnessed one of the victims injured in the hallway of one of the campus buildings.
I kind of just froze up. I calmed myself down after a bit, and I just kind of stayed there with them because we were in the hallway. There was nowhere for us to go. I'm like knocking on doors, but like no one's letting us in.
We just heard just shot after shot, just all at once, no warning, and everyone just looks up from their computers and stuff they were doing. Everyone's in that state of confusion. We're thinking the worst, but we don't know if it's actually happening. And then you just hear screams, you look out the window and you see people just running out of there in the opposite direction.
The school's president offering support for students and staff.
We're going to do everything we can to support our community. We're a strong and united community. We're family. And so we'll take care of all of you, and we'll get through this together.
Now, both students and faculty are left with the question of why the gunman opened fire.
Definitely hard to grasp, knowing that, he was just around us all, and no one knew, or people knew, and maybe they don't know yet, but it's just hard to imagine it actually happening.
Police say there are multiple crime scenes across the Florida State campus, and they said that additional information regarding the investigation is going to come out in the coming days. In Tallahassee, Brent Carney, WEAR News.
Tonight, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is reacting to the violence at Florida State University. He posted this video on his social media.
Casey and I stand in solidarity and are praying for the entire Florida State community.
We're mourning the two individuals who lost their lives in this tragic attack, and we wish well those who are currently recovering in the hospital. This killer must and will be brought to justice to the fullest extent of the law. I want to also thank the law enforcement personnel who were on the scene, both for the university as well as for the city of Tallahassee. They ran towards the danger. They stopped this killer from inflicting more harm, and there is no question that they saved lives.
Another appointee to the University of West Florida's Board of Trustees has resigned. Just last week, Gates Garcia and other members completed their first round of confirmation hearings. This comes just over a week after the board's chairman, Scott Yenner, also stepped down. Now, tonight, some members of the UWF community say this second resignation is a step in the right direction. Thursday night, the University of West Florida hosted an alumni event in Pensacola. The event created an opportunity for alumni to connect. Some were also celebrating the recent victory for the university's future.
The power of the people spoke.
Another DeSantis appointee has bowed out from UWF. On Thursday, Senator Don Gates confirmed to WEAR trustee Gates Garcia is resigning from the board.
I was glad to see that Mr. Garcia decided to step aside.
Alum Karen Holland graduated from UWF in 1995. She's also a member of the grassroots organization Save UWF. The group is pushing back against the governor's trustee appointments. Holland says this is a trend she hopes will continue across the board.
Had this group not gotten together, I don't think this would have ever happened. I'm sure Dr. Yenner would have gone straight through. I'm sure Mr. Garcia would have.
Off camera, other alumni tell me they are in full support of Governor Ron DeSantis, saying they approve of his efforts to make the university more conservative.
We want to see the University of West Florida grow, not be stifled. And I think what the governor has done to New College, it wasn't right.
The governor nominated Garcia to the board in January. Now, Garcia is the second appointee to resign this month. On April 9th, former chairman Scott Yenner sent this email to the university's president, citing, quote, opposition to his nomination as the reason why he left the board. As for Garcia, it's unclear why he decided to step down. Alum Philip Woolley tells me these positions should go to people who have a relationship with the university.
We have other candidates in Pensacola that will be happy to take their place.
Senator Gates is the chairman of the Ethics and Elections Committee. Gates says the remaining appointees will face the committee on Tuesday. He tells me Garcia decided not to participate, signaling his resignation to the board. UWF officials say they have not received any notice of his resignation. A brush fire in Walton County is contained tonight. The fire broke out off Highway 331 South around 6 p.m. Evacuations were in place for homes on Edgewood Circle, but Walton County Fire Rescue said shortly before 8 that all residents were permitted back into their homes. They also thanked community for their patience as firefighters worked to contain the blaze.
First warning weather, sponsored by Pensacola State College.
Well, that nice, dry, sunny weather continued here on our Thursday, and just a little bit earlier, Pensacola Beach was the place to be, but since then, things have really started to wind down out there. Temperatures are starting to drop into the 60s across the area after topping out in those upper 70s to lower 80s earlier this afternoon, but that nice and dry stretch of weather that we had can be contributed to this high pressure system that has really made itself at home there in the Gulf, and will continue to do that as we head into what's left of our night and into the day tomorrow. So expect those clear conditions over the next several hours, as well as to start our day first thing on our Friday. That'll make way for more beautiful weather on tap as we head into our Easter weekend. Talking a little bit more about what to expect coming up in your full forecast.
Download the WEAR First Warning Weather app now. Sponsored by Hill Kelly Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram.
A Northwest Florida lawmaker is introducing an amendment to honor fallen Walton County Deputy William May. Senator Jay Trumbull wants to designate a portion of US 90 in Walton County as Deputy William May Memorial Highway. Deputy May was responding to a call at a Dollar General when he was shot by a suspect. He later died from his injuries. The amendment will have to pass through the House, Senate, and be signed by the governor. The Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office recognized its employees tonight. The annual Employee Awards Banquet was held in Milton. It's an opportunity for the Sheriff's Office and others to thank all of the employees for all of their hard work and protecting the citizens of Santa Rosa County. They got a dinner and lots of door prizes, all donated by the community. We caught up with Chief Deputy Randy Tift earlier this evening. He told us just how important this event is to the Sheriff's Office.
This is a big event for us because it allows us to appreciate our staff and give awards for the outstanding job that they do every year. I'm having to fill in this year. Sheriff Johnson is at home very sick, so I'm filling in for him this year and proud to do so we can recognize the great men and women that work at Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office. So we look forward to this banquet every year.
Our very own Bob Solarski also emceed the event. Gallery Night is this Friday, and this month's theme is Pensacola Navy Days, Vintage Vibes in Valor. The event will take over downtown Pensacola. There will be artists, music, vendors, and more. People attending can enjoy vintage vocals and World War II flair with the Blue Anchor Bells performing live near Garden Street in Palafox. Some of the Blue Angels will also be attending, along with NAS Pensacola's Commander Mamasan. The event runs from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. More people are getting behind the wheel without car insurance. Why more drivers are deciding to skip out on being insured.
Download the WEAR News app now. Sponsored by Forrest Jordan and Associates.
One in 3 drivers in the U.S. are either uninsured or underinsured. That's according to a new study from the Insurance Research Council. Nearly every state in the country requires you to have auto insurance. But despite that, more Americans than ever are going without or getting just the bare minimum required. National investigative correspondent Angie Moreski takes a closer look at this troubling trend.
Traffic in Washington, D.C., like any city, can be stressful. But making it even worse, nearly 1 in 4 drivers here don't have auto insurance, putting the burden on drivers who do if there's an accident.
I've had that happen. Someone hit me from the back and they did not have insurance.
Our nation's capital is 3rd worst in the country for uninsured motorists, behind Mississippi and New Mexico. Luckily, D.C. resident Ryan Vincent did have insurance, but she got stuck with all the bills, even though the accident wasn't her fault.
It's not pleasant, you know?
Unfortunately, it's a growing problem for all of us. New data from the Insurance Research Council shows 1 in 3 drivers nationwide is either uninsured or underinsured, up 10% since 2019.
It makes the roads less safe for everybody.
Mark Friedlander, Senior Director of Media Relations at the Insurance Information Institute, says it's leading to more hazardous driving.
We see more reckless behavior behind the wheel for uninsured motorists.
And he says it makes it more costly for those with auto insurance. Policyholders pay about $16 billion a year more for additional coverage to protect against and underinsured motorists. That's about $100 extra a year per vehicle. And premiums are also going up. A Bankrate survey found auto insurance rates are up more than 30% since 2023.
Premiums are increasing. Is that a big part of the problem?
Clearly, it is a significant factor. Families need to choose, where are we going to spend our household budget?
Friedlander says rising costs for auto repairs and medical care are major reasons contributing to rate hikes.
It's a serious problem for every driver out there.
Morgan & Morgan personal injury attorney Gil Light says they see the dire consequences of under and uninsured motorists every day.
If you're in a very serious crash, you can easily run up hundreds of thousands of dollars in bills. If there's absolutely no insurance, that's a very difficult situation. There's not much that can be done.
Nearly 1 in 5 accidents with injuries involve damages higher than the at-fault driver's coverage limits.
Nobody understands this until they're in it.
The best defense, he says, is getting supplemental coverage to protect your interests if you're hit by someone who lacks coverage.
I get the whole package because I just want to be able to cover my bases in the event that I have something happen.
Penalties for driving uninsured vary from state to state, but can be significant, including fines, license suspension, having your car impounded, even jail time for repeat offenders. For Spotlight on America, I'm Angie Moreski.
Florida ranks 7th in the nation for uninsured motorists, with 20% of drivers lacking coverage. That means 1 in 5 drivers are not insured. Now, when it comes to underinsured drivers in Florida, nearly 40% of drivers do not have enough insurance to cover the cost of an accident.
First Warning WeatherNet is sponsored by Peden Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electrical. Here is meteorologist Marion Caldwell.
Well, it was another nice and seasonable day across the area with temperatures topping out in those upper 70s to lower 80s, which is right about where we should be for this time of year. But since then, we've done a little bit of cooling off, although temperatures are still more on the mild side out there in those middle to lower 60s across the board. But that nice dry stretch of weather that we've had lately can be thanks to this high pressure system that has really made itself at home and will continue to keep our weather nice as we head into our Easter weekend. So heading into tonight, expect those temperatures to really not do a whole lot of cooling off. Just will bottom out in about those lower 60s to middle 50s, just kind of depending on where you are. So not quite as cool when you step outside first thing tomorrow morning. And that will make way for a beautiful afternoon here on our Friday. Perfect day to walk the dog. Those temperatures will be climbing into the upper 70s and lower 80s once again as we head into the afternoon hours. Seeing that sunshine all the way from start to finish. It will be a little more on the muggy side going into tomorrow, and that kind of persists into our weekend as well as into the beginning of next week. So we kind of fast forward through our future cast here. Really not a whole lot to see, but we'll look through it here anyways. Nice and dry, maybe a few passing clouds as we go into the afternoon. Saturday, more of the same, clear conditions, perfect for any outside Easter plans you may have. Although as we go into the day Sunday, that's when we start to see a bit more cloud cover move into the area, becoming a little more dense as we go into the afternoon. But nonetheless, we do manage to stay dry heading into the second half of the weekend. So things look great for any plans that you may have as we go into Easter there. Temperatures will be in those low 80s. So speaking of that nice weather on tap once again for tomorrow, conditions at the beach will be nice and calm. So green flags will be flying, water temperatures warming up as those air temperatures are consistently being a bit warmer there as well. Offshore, things look nice and calm for those who want to head on out there with seas running at about 2 feet. So going into Easter weekend, tomorrow starts out with upper 70s, sunny skies, no chance for any rain, and more of the same as we go into the weekend before rain chances increase into the beginning of next week.
President Donald Trump is calling for change at the Federal Reserve, why he wants the current chairman gone. President Donald Trump lashed out against Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell over lowering interest rates. Trump has been butting heads with Powell over lowering the interest rates to offer relief to Americans. Powell has been slow on dropping the rates due to uncertainty in the economy with the ongoing trade war. Trump says Powell's termination, quote, cannot come soon enough.
I don't think he's doing the job. He's too late, always too late, a little slow, and I'm not happy with him. I let him know it, and if I want him out, he'll be out of there real fast, believe me.
U.S. stocks were closing at a mixed rate today after Trump made comments about possibly firing Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell. The Dow Jones shed 500 points, and the Nasdaq fell 21 points. The S&P 500 was able to squeak out a 7-point gain. All three major indexes finished the week in the red. Spring break travel season is winding down, and prices at the pump are coming down too. Nationally, gas prices have decreased 5 cents since last week. That's according to AAA. The national average price for a gallon of regular gas is $3.16. Meanwhile, the average cost for a gallon of gas here in Northwest Florida is $2.80. The falling cost of fuel is being driven by decreased demand. And to find the cheapest gas in Northwest Florida, head to our website, WEARTV.com. Click on Pump Patrol. Marvel Entertainment has released a new trailer for the Fantastic Four: First Steps. It shows the superhero quartet in an alternate 1960s Manhattan. The new trailer also gives a sneak peek of the Marvel character, the Silver Surfer. The movie hits theaters on July 25th. The Lyrids meteor shower has returned. Coming up, we'll have the best time to catch a show in the night sky this week. The Lyrids meteor shower is underway. NASA says it will be active through April 26th, with 5 or 6 meteors an hour visible when the sky is dark. The agency says the peak will be Monday and Tuesday. NASA says the first recorded sighting of the Lyrids meteor shower was in 687 BC. Our parent company Sinclair is inviting everyone to their Draft House experience for this year's NFL Draft. It's April 24th and 25th at the Nissan Draft House in Green Bay. Podcasts, The Triple Option, and Throwbacks are joining forces for a live show each day to break down the biggest moments from the drafts. Urban Meyer, former college football head coach and co-host of the Triple Option podcast, offered advice for this year's prospects ahead of the draft.
I've seen a lot of players do great and a lot of players not do great. And the ones that don't do great isn't because of talent, it's because they just surrounded themselves with the wrong people.
Round 1 of the NFL Draft begins next Thursday at 7 p.m. Central.
Chime in, sponsored by Florida Power and Light.
And showing off your big catch. To share your pictures and videos, text WEAR-TV to 95577 or look for the Chime In tab on our website.
Well, the good news for your Easter weekend is that as we head into it, more nice, dry, sunny, and warm weather is on tap going into the day tomorrow. Upper 70s to low 80s, lots of sunshine. That continues as we head into the weekend. But enjoy it before those rain chances do come back in the forecast by the start of next week.
Thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you tomorrow. Jimmy Kimmel Live is next.